Hello. Today, well, this evening, I will be making a video on the Divine Masculine. Now, if my voice sounds a bit funny, it's because there appears to be some throat chakra blockages going on at the moment, especially for the Divine Masculine, but the Divine Feminine seems to be feeling it also. The other possibility, unless it's part of that of course, is Ascension Symptoms or energetic downloads. So I feel like last few days I've been feeling strange symptoms from absolutely nowhere, such as joint pain, feeling like my head's spinning, and just as I'm making this video, I'm hearing lots of pinging and popping sounds, which is quite unusual. That usually happens from repressed anger or excessive energy going on, so there's a lot going on at the moment. So yeah, I did a tarot reading on my Divine Masculine, not today, I'm not even sure if it was even yesterday, but the day before yesterday. So if today's Sunday evening, that would have been Friday night, possibly, or Saturday, I can't remember at this point. But I thought I'd just do a tarot card reading before it stops feeling fresh. Because if you do tarot, if you've noticed, after maybe a few days or even within hours, the reading feels a bit stale, like old flowers, if you know what I mean. It's really, really strange, actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead with the tarot card reading I did the other day, 2 days ago, before it becomes too stale, because I think the information I'm providing is somewhat relevant, or at least has been relevant for the last month energetically. I'm not an expert on astrology, but I've been experiencing a lot of symptoms similar to a lot of other Divine Feminines, and I've noticed a pattern in that Divine Masculines have been all acting roughly the same, the collective, for lack of better words. I cannot think of the right way of expressing it, but yeah. So, the first 5 cards, keep in mind I was shuffling the deck at a time. I tend to do things in 5, 10, 15, 20. So I tend to do readings with 20 cards or so. It really depends on how things feel. So the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the first 5 I end up drawing were these cards. So the 7 of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 of Pentacles. Wait, so 7 of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles, the 7. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 of Pentacles, the 6 of Swords, and the. Oh geez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 of Swords. I hope that's right. Hang on, let me look again. Okay, that's 7 in Roman numerals. That is 8. Okay, right. So these are past energies of the Divine Masculine, at least in the last few days. I'm just using your standard tarot card deck. Now let's place these where they should go. Okay. I did put these up in the first place, but then I ended up putting them down again. Wait, something was amiss here. Okay, right. I don't know if it's my OCD here. I just like picking up cards and stuff. I like the feel of them, obviously. Oh my gosh. I'm so confused with the order of these cards already. Right. Yeah, so just let me put these cards down then. Oh flip, I don't think this is right. Yeah, that's more correct. I'm sure it was like that to begin with. Right, so I don't know. How do you want me to present this? Okay, something doesn't add up here. I think I might have jumbled up the order of the cards as I put them out. Or not. No, it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. We shall see. So, I now put them down. I don't want to pick them back up. So with the Seven of Swords, it usually represents sort of sneaky behaviour, going behind people's backs, not being fully honest, not being fully upfront. I mean, if you look in the image correctly, he's just sneaking around. I really don't like that one. It could be planning things as well behind closed doors, so it's not always a bad card in every context. But in this case, I feel it is, for obvious reasons, because some of you Divine Feminines might have felt betrayed recently. Anybody on a twin flame journey. And it really, excuse my French, pisses me off. Then the Four of Pentacles. Now, this guy, I don't like this card. Already this guy's kind of greedy. He's just hoarding onto his money. It's not really a good investment or a good form of financial gain. So the Divine Masculine thought, oh, this was a good idea. I'll sneak around. I'll just hoard this money. I'll betray the Divine Feminine. In some cases, you might have been stolen from. Or just you've had to deal with this general sneakiness or lack of straightforwardness. And then the third card is a Six of Swords. Now this card is pretty depressing. It looks like somebody died, but it's actually quite a good card. It usually means that better things are ahead, to put it simply. So this sort of going on an adventure on a boat, well, not an adventure so much, but it's this card gives me the sense of relief, meaning better things will be approaching. Now, the thing is, based off Divine's Masculine's logic, he was sneaking around, he was hoarding money or hoarding certain resources, not giving much attention to Divine Feminine, and thought things would pan out. But here's the thing, I mean, really, I'm surprised the Tower card did not come out. I mean, a few days ago, I did sort of reading of this kind of similar situation, and the Tower card came out, and the Tower card seems to come out every single time something is built off a false foundation. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, excuse me, this is my OCD, so I like counting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. Well, this to me looks like growth, or not quite new beginnings, but sort of watching things grow. So based on the early actions of the Divine Masculine, he thought things would grow based off the decisions he'd made. However, I'm so surprised the Tower card did not come out recently, because this story makes no sense otherwise. And in this case, the hang on, let me count. So the Eight of Swords, if I'm correct. This obviously is a symbol of being bound and maybe having made the wrong decision. I don't like using the word wrong decision, but it seems like the Divine Masculine has been completely blindfolded and made the wrong decision based off his sneaking around, and now he's stuck and there's not much he can do. So, and I also get the sense that the Divine Feminine has also been blocked, as in she's been blinded, or as an English expression goes, the wool has been pulled over her face, which means, another word, being deceived. So this card it's not really a deceptive card, but it could represent that too. But for the Divine Masculine, it represents being stuck. Now, obviously the first 5 cards are based on the past. And the result of the Divine Masculine's actions ended up producing these 5 cards. So the Ten of Swords, not a really good card. Great for surgery though, but not great for being stabbed in the back, metaphorically or literally. This is the ultimate card of betrayal, essentially. The Lovers means, obviously, he's asking for a second chance, but it can also mean making decisions. And I just couldn't help but feel, but this time, upon looking at this card, that the angel or being above them seems to represent divine timing, meaning there's been a case of divine intervention and the Divine Feminine has been sort of pushed into her quarters, if that makes sense, and the Divine Masculine has been pushed into his quarters or his territory as a result of the betrayal, which I wish he had not done, but oh well, a bit too late. So lots of swords energy here, not so great. So this put the Divine Feminine in a position where she was forced to make a decision based off the Lover's card. That's what it could represent as well. Forced to make a decision on what to do about her betrayal. And which then leads on to the Queen of Pentacles. Now the thing is, the Divine Masculine sees the Queen of Pentacles as being stable and good with her money and very abundant, sort of like the goddess Lakshmi, which is also it's basically a goddess of abundance in Hinduism. And the thing is, well, she doesn't seem so happy to me this time looking at this card. She looks like she's sort of holding on to her last coin if she has been betrayed or the Divine Masculine has robbed her, which is pretty bad when you think about it. And then you have the Nine of Wands, which is more fire energy. Wands represents fire, but from this perspective it represents that the only way he will be able to win the Divine Feminine back is by working hard and by putting some elbow grease into it to prove himself. But I don't know how to put this. In other words, it's saying to the Divine Masculine to keep on putting in an effort, and for the Divine Feminine to keep on going with being consistent in whatever she's doing. Basically, if you're Divine Feminine watching this, you're probably on the right track, you're probably doing fine. You're probably working yourself, like, I don't say to death, but you're doing fine, basically. It's more the Divine Masculine that needs to work on certain issues, which led to the betrayal of the Divine Feminine. And then, of course, in time, judgment shall pass. Now, I always get confused between judgment and the Justice card, but the Judgment card is sort of, again, kind of like divine intervention, but it's sort of also like the wrath of God, so to speak. I don't really like using those terms, but it could just mean that, well, judgment will fall upon those in due time on the basis of having worked hard or not so hard, and they will deem the Divine Masculine as fit to be good enough for the Divine Feminine, or the Divine Feminine will be deemed as good enough for the Divine Masculine. In this context, I hope I make sense and I'm not just rambling, but it could represent sort of karmic retribution. I don't really like that word, but that's all I can say for now. Now, the next few cards that I pulled from that reading was the Five of Pentacles, meaning the divine masculine feels like he's been left out in the cold, which he kind of has been left out in the cold. But also the feeling of grief and loss from the divine feminine. The next card, which is more positive, is the Ten of Pentacles, which I really like that. I cannot help but this time look and notice these two dogs. Now, I never really noticed them before when I've pulled this card, but this time I have, and it could represent twins or twin flames, blah blah blah. Who knows? It's something that the divine feminine had hoped to have built with divine masculine before he betrayed her, or he did not match up to her standards. But this is a good card because it means in due time the divine feminine will get her due diligence. She will get her reward or her repayment or her what's the word? She will get something in return for the damage that has been done. That's sort of like a compensation card in this context. Okay. Now let me get this right. Okay. Now, this is where a very childish Page of Wands comes out. It looks like he's polishing his knob. Pardon me for saying that, but this card really annoys me. On a more positive note, it just basically means he is the messenger. He wants to bring news. But the Page of Wands has quite a youthful energy, very innocent and youthful, which is trying to say, oh, here I am, let me bring some good news and prove myself worthy. Except he's going to have to prove himself worthy to the Queen of Wands. So right now, the divine feminine, I'm not sure if I pulled the Empress card, but for a lot of tarot card readers in this time at the moment, they've pulled a lot of Empress cards, or in this case I've pulled the Queen of Wands, meaning that we're in our Queen energy at the moment, we're in our power. The Queen of Wands is sort of fertile, she's sort of like a leader. She knows how to delegate tasks, and obviously because part of the wands, it's part of the fire sign, so you might be a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, what's the other one? Good lord, how's it, I can only remember two of them. Oh, Aries, of course. If not, your divine masculine might also be a fire sign, or you might simply have a lot of fire sign influences in your chart. But yeah, this Page of Wands is sort of trying to prove to this Queen of Wands that he is worthy and that he deserves a second chance, which then leads to the Ten of Wands. More Wands energy. Man, that's a lot of fire or phallic energy again. But what's interesting is this card came after the Empress and after the Page of Wands, and I just get the impression that this guy here is the same guy as this guy, and he's just trying to prove himself to the Queen of Wands as being worthy. Now, if you're divine feminine, it might mean you're a bit burdened and you've taken on too many responsibilities, and that you might need to drop a couple of responsibilities or like take a step back. Yeah, otherwise, you'll just crash and burn. That's not really good. The only way to carry all those wands is by releasing one or two to be able to continue the journey. It just represents too much baggage, and the Divine Masculine still has a lot of baggage, which is not so good. Yeah. But it seems like this guy is the same guy again as the Page of Wands. So he's like trying to prove himself to the right of the Queen of Wands, and he's trying to prove himself to the left of the Queen of Wands. This is like the same guy, just trying to impress her, and she's not having any of it until he is deemed worthy. Really, she's hoping he will probably get into a sort of king mindset or emperor mindset. I think that would impress her anyway. Which then leads to, I guess, slightly more positive cards, which is sort of the future potential of cards. Remember, this tarot, so nothing is written in stone. This is just based off possibilities. It may or may not happen, but you have to put your faith and, I guess, hard work into it. But don't overwork yourself, because that defies the law. The whole point of the law of attraction, you're not supposed to work yourself to death. So the next card I pulled out is the Two of Cups. Now I really like this, but again, this time, like the Lovers card, I cannot help but notice this little, I was going to say demon guy, angelic being, which to me just seems like, again, there's a strong sense of divine intervention at the moment. So he's hoping to prove himself, like in the Page of Wands, like in the Ten of Wands, and in the Two of Cups, to prove himself worthy. He's asking for a second chance. The Divine Feminine will consider it only if he proves himself worthy. But he's going through a lot right now. As I've noticed in former readings I've done, lots of tarot card moments. He's probably going through the dark night of the soul, has probably issues with addiction, or maybe potentially third party issues in some people's cases. It really all depends on your individual journey. But these are the general energies of what I perceive at the moment. And then you have the Empress card, which came out. Now again, this just shows most of us, if not all of us, divine feminines are in our Empress mode of being, which is we're just chilling there, wearing our finest clothes and eating the finest foods, or trying to anyway. And we refuse to move until the Divine Masculine again proves himself. We might have taken a step back because of maybe certain addictions or issues that the Divine Masculine is going through. In other words, it's not for lack of caring, but it just seems like the only way he will come back to us is if he finds his own way. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles. Now I like this card. To me it reminds me of a card that represents apprenticeships. The Eight of Pentacles. This seems to be the Divine Masculine finding a sort of structured way of being to prove himself through work and sorting his life out, for again, lack of a better word. So this could mean a sort of new direction or an improvement in certain skills to prove himself worthy to the Empress or the Queen of Wands. Same thing really, it just represents the Divine Feminine overall. And in doing so with enough persistence, it hopefully should result in a celebration. Now, some people say, oh, this represents a third party. Now, I have no idea why, but overall, this card represents, to me, a celebration, and according to the definition of this card. So, I would not worry too much. Overall, for the majority of you, I am fully convinced that this is just a celebration card. It means what it means. It does not mean any hidden... There is nothing to read into here. It's just pretty obvious to me after this whole story I've just conveyed. And this card is apparently very, very positive now. Look at all that yellow. To me, this is kind of like the Sun card. But the Fool at the end of this journey is progress. It might seem like he's, well, foolish, but it's a form of newfound relief or beginnings or youthfulness. A sort of, what's the word? Refreshment? No. But this is a good card, basically. This is a very promising card. A very promising card overall. To me, that looks like progress compared with the earlier cards, with the first 5 cards, meaning the 7 of Swords with the 4 of Pentacles. That was not really good. That was some sneaky, sneaky behaviour that I really do not like. That the Divine Masculine may have done. I'm just wondering if I should pull more cards. But I reckon I shall leave it for now, because if I start to pull more cards, knowing my luck, it Sod's Law, Murphy's Law, this camera will then die when I'm shuffling more cards. I cannot make long videos, basically, because of the lack of memory on my phone. So yeah, I hope this video made sense, and I hope this alleviated some of your doubts and made you feel slightly less alone on this twin flame journey, because it really is not easy. Even if you do follow this whole like mindfulness stuff and meditate and heal your own wounds, it's not easy, because even though supposedly you're 2 people sharing one soul, which sounds insane, at the end of the day, there's sometimes a lot of work for the other person to go through, because they just had a different upbringing, or they might have different karmic contracts, or some unfinished business. It's not always that easy. It's not always that straightforward. I'm hoping it will be so as time goes by, and that's why I'm making these videos, or this video, even though I don't normally make tarot card readings, but I really hope it helps somebody. But to me, these cards look relatively reassuring, and I'd just like to add that the Divine Masculine, based off these cards, wants to apologise. He wants to prove himself to the Divine Feminine. But I think it's good we've sort of retreated and we're doing our own thing for now. We're not chasing him like the chaser normally does, which is nice for a change. Maybe we just have too many responsibilities or things we need to take care of before we can worry about, well, the Divine Masculine going through his existential crisis, or his dark night of the soul. At the end of the day, no matter how much you want to, you cannot do a spiritual journey for somebody else, even if that person is your other half. You have to let them do their own work, basically, their own processing, because they are in another vessel, in another body, for the most part, and they have free will. So yeah, that is the reading for today. I think I should post this video before this reading becomes stale. You know what it's like. You do a card reading, you leave the cards out for too long. It's like flowers, they just go stale. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have liked this video, then please like and subscribe. You would be doing me a great favour if you do so. Thank you, and goodbye.